Hey, IDS 302. Is this thing on? It is. I know I just did my 301 video and I forgot to put these on, so uh, it's still good enough. All right, so it is Wednesday, February 24th. It is 10:46 a.m. and this is your Module 7 video 2. Welcome. Let's talk. Okay, so I was at the Mayo Clinic all day Monday, which really set me back. I got 90 some things to score in my 301 class alone. But anyways, I saw a picture on the wall. A lot of times I go to Mayo and they got such interesting displays. It's like it's like a combination of going on in a in a medical facility, a cruise ship, and a museum because they've got all these displays. Like the one up on Shea, 136. They got stairs with like a gold railing, so that reminds me of a cruise ship. And there's a piano in the concourse, and but there's also these displays and things that rotate, and one of them I remember seeing last year or so ago was had to do with integrative medicine, which obviously piqued my curiosity. Integrative medicine, and I had seen an integrative specialist there, which is I think obviously great. There's a um, there was a picture. I was sitting there between tests on Monday, and I saw a photo that really spoke to me, and in this class as well. I'll show it to you, and then I'll read it because it's kind of it's got a glare on it because it was behind glass. But it was by Charles H. Mayo. Believe he's founder of the Mayo Clinic. Uh, he says there are two objects of medicine, and I think you could change that to objectives, but there are two objects of medical education. All right, to heal the sick and to advance the science. Uh, so obviously, like I said, that is of interest to me for this class, especially because of what we are showing and trying to comprehend is that to advance the science on anything is to just add to the body of knowledge in that field, to do research. Okay. And again, you'll see evidence of it many places if you're looking for it, or if it's kind of like, when you buy a car and buy a new car, any kind of car, this is true, right? And, I don't care if it's a 2006, whatever, okay, sedan. All of a sudden, you're going to see all these same cars on the road, okay, because now you've assimilated that vehicle. And so you're seeing other vehicles that are same. Um, Happens to me with my Jeep, but of course you're in Arizona, you're going to see a million Jeeps to begin with. But it's just something. So in terms of seeing research, seeing the results and what happens, it's everywhere. I wanted to also talk about. I found. Did I close it? Oh no. Well, I talk about don't use like Forbes and this or that and everything. Okay, in real life, as we move along through life, we're not going to go to these research journals and all these things. We're going to see news. We're going to consume knowledge, news, and we just want to be discerning. So I saw a article that was linked through Forbes magazine, one of the sources I say don't use, but it was about research on the efficacy of the vaccines with all the variants. And by the way, I got my second shot yesterday morning at 4:30 in the morning, and I have superpowers now. No, but there's testing and research going on because the variants are happening, and are these vaccines? What can they do? Do they do anything? Do they do everything in between? So I'm very curious about that as someone who's been able to be blessed and get my two shots, and as well as for all my loved ones too, who haven't had them. So why am I doing Forbes saying it's okay? Because Forbes is referencing, they were using the writer of this article was a Harvard, God, the guy, I wish I still had that. Why don't I have it? He was from Harvard, and he had so many background expertise and so many backgrounds. And he linked the studies, he linked the research, legit. So what I'm saying here is that for research, when you're at an academic, scientific, humanities, whatever, go to the direct peer-reviewed sources, the primary sources, okay? But for our consumable knowledge day to day, I just want you to be discerning and not say, oh, Forbes sucks. He said Forbes sucked. No, he didn't. He said Forbes sucks to use as a source for a research paper. But if you were to get that article from Forbes and then look at it and find out there's your source, so that's good. So I just want to be clear on that, that you don't think I'm just trying to throw a bunch of hooey at you. I would never throw hooey. Okay, so let's talk about, there's another video I'm going to include in the announcement. It's Tom Brock from University of Wisconsin. It's about, I like it because the title of it is called UW-Madison scientist Tom Brock on the importance of basic research. That's what we've done here. You're accomplishing basic research. Tom Brock goes back 50 years on his project as like a biologist, but it's interesting, okay? And I'm just going to throw that out there at you again to understand that concept of basic research. All right, so there is an evaluation. I will put the link for the evaluation on there in your in this announcement. Okay, for the evaluation, I got that. All right. So let me just skip to the final paper generally. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another video, like I mentioned, on Saturday. I got to do more tests tomorrow and Friday and whatever. But Saturday, I tend to post another video that pretty much exclusively talks about the final paper. Okay, I'll try to do it Saturday morning early because a lot of you are going to work on the weekend. It's due on Tuesday before midnight. But just as an FYI, I was just thinking about 200 points for that final paper. Oh my God, 200. Remember to look at your point total now. I have those point totals up. Understand what you are looking for, shooting for, 700, 800, 900. If you got the, get what you get, okay? But you know what you'll need to get to a certain level. What I'm going to do, just generally speaking, on how I'm going to score these final papers, here, I'll give you this idea. 33% of it, I'm going to be looking at the formatting of the entire final paper. So that's like 67 points. Another 33%, I'm going to look at your data analysis, your step 5, your data analysis, and whatever else is in step 5. That's 67 points approximately. And then, I'm sorry, take it back. 33% is the data analysis alone. I'll talk more about it on Saturday, and then the last 33% is step 5, okay? So step 5 is a paper, 33%. The entire formatting, the entire paper, and the content, but I'm not going to go through it like a fine-tooth comb. Don't worry about that. Looking at the formatting of it, 33%, because we got to do a table of contents, cover page, appendix, works cited, blah, blah, blah. We'll get into that Saturday. So 33% formatting the entire paper, 33% of the data analysis from your surveys, and 33% for your step 5. The reason I'm doing a data analysis, because if you come out and you got 8 responses, you're going to get a lousy score for that 33%. Lousy. Okay. And that's why I gave you plenty of notice on this. All right. You can't just sit back, twiddle your thumbs, and rely on the discussion board, peer students to only do it. Okay. Because at the most, you're going to get about a dozen, probably. All right. Because there's probably at least 5 people that aren't doing work in this class. That leaves less than, that's about 18 left, 17. Not everybody's going to do it, probably. So you need to be aggressive in getting random adults to do it. Otherwise, you'll take the hit in points. That's just the way it is. Because the data is a crucial element of research, right? We've talked about that. Not just doing a report, but doing the research of it, okay? What are you adding to the body of knowledge in your field, right? Okay, so I'm not going to judge you for, again, not curing cancer or solving Black Lives Matter movement or, resolving any CBD issues or anything. No, I'm going to look at how you framed your research, your work. All right. So don't stress out about the results as much as you are concerned about how you analyze your data. And we'll talk about that as we get into it. Okay, so let's talk about step 4, which is why I am here. Okay, so in step 4, that's due, I put it down due tomorrow night, just as an FYI. Let me get to that page here. This is 302. Yes, it is. Okay, modules. All right, nobody's got their step 4 turned in yet, so that's good, I guess. So step 4, here it is, the sample. Let me open that. Okay, so for step 4, critically analyze common disciplinary insights and patterns of connections. All right, this will be done through assimilating the various research that you utilize your step 3 annotated bibliography. It means that you're going to look at those sources you used. What do they say about their area of expertise and why? And you're going to dig into the research, find more if needed or wanted, and put it together in this paper. All right. Why does it say module 5? See, I changed this all around. People were doing this in module 5 before. I got to take that off of there. Come on, edit. And so section 4 steps are analysis of disciplinary literature. Hold on. Primary data collection. All right. What do we got here? Boy, somebody changed this around. Let me pull up the I don't know if I should start over. Should I start over? I'm not going to start over. Okay, I'm just irritated that I thought I went through this before the class started. So looking at the sample, let's look at the sample and I will do this. Okay, now here's what I want to make a point of. Samples are there as guidelines for you, okay? They are not there as a perfect template. As I've said before, these samples are not perfect, okay? This course evolves. I would like nothing more than to have one of your papers supersede this one and use that going forward. So I don't want use this as a ceiling. Use this as the floor. You know what I mean? Make it, do it better. Do it better. If I see you copying like the content in terms of, oh, there's only 5 lines to this one, I'm gonna make 5 lines on mine. Oh, there's only this one, I'll make that. You know, that's just, oh, okay. You have freedom in this course, even though you think it's overly structured and I'm hyped up and obsessed about this and that. You have freedom within the structure of this course to do you, right? So when we talk about restatement of purpose, I'll change this. Go by the sample for now. Restatement of purpose, because I think that's going to have to be it for now. Restate the purpose that you started with earlier on, like step 2, I think it was. But make it better if need be. Don't just copy and paste it. You could do that, but why? Why aren't you getting better? Why aren't you showing the improvement, what you've learned so far from looking at your sources and from understanding now, conceptualizing what are some of the opinions, perceptions, and experiences regarding blank revealed in a survey of random adults? Okay, so your restatement of purpose is right about gathering a snapshot for random adults and then to get a clearer picture on whatever it is you're studying and to add to the body of knowledge in your field because this is important. Why, right? Restatement of purpose. Then you want to get into your 3 disciplines. Looking at the perspective of each one. Okay, general perspective. Yes, these are, each one of these she has here is 1 to 2 paragraphs of various lengths. You could do better. Tell me about the perspective of that discipline, especially as it relates to your topic, okay? Because medicine may be your discipline and your topic is CBD. So you don't have to give me a big thing about medicine. Talk about medicine in terms of CBD, alternative medicines, what have you, okay? Psychological or whatever perspective is next, communication, whatever. Talk to me about that one. Don't use I, me, my, though, of course. And then your third one, do that one. Now you want to look at patterns, connections, and common ground. I believe this student was way short on that. Way short. Okay? I think she should have given as much writing to the areas of common ground as she does to the areas of conflict. Okay? That was important, what I just said. In terms, and you should be writing notes if you have to, but the patterns, connections, and the common ground for this sample should have been much more. It should have been another reflection of each one against each one. That's three separate things. So how does communication, let's say you have, again, let's say this one here, anthropological, psychological, and sociological. So you'd have to do anthropological with psychological. What's the common ground there? Okay. Anthropological with sociological. What's the common ground there? Then psychological with sociological. What's the common ground there? And making sure all of them are correct. So it's anthropology, psych is one, anthropology and sociology was two, psychological and sociological is three. So there you go. Okay, so that's what you're looking for here. So just the way she did areas of conflict, she looked at each one also. So you're looking at areas of common ground, and let's take a look. Okay, she was doing this on COVID-19, the pandemic, and generally speaking. So let's talk about COVID. The anthropological perspective, how does that match with the psychological perspective? Well, I have no idea. That's your job, but I don't want to waste time doing that. But that's what we're looking at. So then the areas of conflict, these are disciplinary areas of conflict for these disciplines. Okay, how do they not play nice together? How do they conflict? How does business and sustainability, what is their common ground? Maybe it might be a reach, but maybe business wants to maintain a society so they can make money, or sustainability maintains sustainability so they can have something to, whereas sustainability, but we can tell where their conflict is, right? Business is talking about profits. Sustainability is talking about conservation of the planet's resources, right? So how do they conflict? How do they have patterns of connection? This is where you're getting into the nuts and bolts of integration. You're not just looking at three things separately. You are addressing how they integrate or how they don't integrate, right? And that's a very important thing here, right? Then you got new understanding, potential resolutions. This is where I want you to think outside the box. Use your head. This is where the rubber meets the road, okay? You want to address this new understanding, potential resolutions. I'm not a fan of bullet point lists. They can be used, but it's not a fan. All right. Do better. I challenge you. Then you've got a section called primary data collection. All right. Now I have issues with this too on the sample. And issues being that I like how it's generally described, but the process summary is bad. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 9 or 10 bullet points. What should it be? The process, the summary of the process. Tanner's 5 steps, right? Process summary, step 1, what is it? Step 2, what is it? Step 3, what is it? Step 4, what is it? Step 5, what is it? And if you want to put, you can put those in bullet points if you want, but give me a little definition of the description of each step and what's going on. That's what would thrill me, okay? So I know there's going to be plenty of people that just copy and bullet point this and blah, okay? But let's get with it. Now you notice you use words like synergize, synthesize, things like that instead of integrate. And you know I'm obsessed that I'm going to integrate. But in terms of step 4, by now you should know that I'm an integration, IDS equals integration. But now I should be able to trust you now to understand that when you use synergy or synthesize, that I know you're talking about integration now, because I know that you are. So this is where I continue to let you work within whatever you do okay? Remember I said you really aren't you don't get credit for breaking rules when you don't know what the rules are to begin with. Because typically the ones that know, the innovators that know the rules and break the rules are doing so to try to innovate, to improve, to take it to the next level, as opposed to just the ones that are breaking the rules so they can go outside and have a cigarette. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about here. Now, in terms of everything else, running head, works cited, don't cite, I'm not going to stop you. If you want to cite Tanner, you just type Tanner because you're going to use it in the process summary. Great. There's a goal. Cut them 2-0. Okay, so if you have any questions about this step 4, I'm going to try to clean up the instructions, but the sample is good in terms of following these sections. But remember, take it up a notch. Okay, do you? All right, make it better. Let me, session B, I want to use yours as a sample. Okay, so that's it. Now, in terms of, it's 20 minutes already. All right, I got an option instead of Easter eggs, because you're going, why the guy would just say some Easter eggs? And I haven't. All right, I'm going to attach a video. And again, with IDS, I mean, if you're in English Lit, you're going to get lessons on English Lit. If you're in engineering, you get lessons focused on engineering. If you're on IDS, you can get anything, right? And so I'm going to take advantage of that anything right now. I'm going to give you a 3.5-minute video, all right? And it's called Race, Equality, and Equity. And some of you probably have seen this before. Many of you probably might have seen this before. I used to show it in high school when I was teaching there, and I think it is absolutely, while it's kind of been used or old, out of focus a little bit, it is important, I think, and it's just another way of seeing things, which is what we're trying to do in this class, see things. So what I want you to do, though, is I want you to view it, and I want you to answer 2 questions, brief answers, whatever, and that's how you'll get your Easter egg points, okay? I'll include that in the link and all the details. I will see you Saturday. All right. That's it. Forks up. Peace.